Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow, bringing you guys another video. Facing a Reiju at game night. Ended up facing my boy Alex Ramirez. I chose to go first to take the curve away from Reiju since obviously they want to do Porsche to combo to whatever. So I open up with a Lafitte. He just dons and passes, which is great for me because he does not see stage, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to do this Lafitte search, and I am going to grab, I believe, the stage card here so that I can start cycling through the deck and finding pieces that I need. I think I had two Liberations in hand, so I figured why not grab the stage and then pitch one of them with the stage to start finding something else. And you do see two My Era Begins and a Vasco. I'm going to grab that My Era Begins, so again, keep digging in the deck here. Really one valid target in that My Era Begins, and that being the 10 drop. I don't need another stage, and Finger Pistol cannot be grabbed, so obviously only had one choice. And in here I decide to pitch for my leader ability because, again, I do not want to allow him to do Porsche, search his deck for a Foxy Pirates type card, Don minus to draw, and then potentially play out one of the small, Power Rangers from Reiju and start shitting out bodies. So that's the last thing that I wanted to allow happen. So here you see he swings 5 at the Lafitte and taps 3 Don for a Black Maria. He's going to choose to do the Black Maria ability to get himself up to 9 Don. I was questioning him, but he knew what he was doing. He was doing this so that when the Black Maria Don minuses all the Don, because it's got to equal to what I have, the Reiju leader will see that and draw a card. And in that card that he just played, believe it's Corset, I forgot what the name was, but it's essentially a blocker when he has 2 or less Don than me. And obviously Reiju, what she wants to do is essentially Don minus so much to where she is going to be in that range consistently, so it's a little trump block. But this Black Maria does put it in range so that it is active as a blocker right now. So I start off my turn by pitching that 2k Shiryu, and I am going to grab the 4 cost Shiryu, which will allow me to pop a 3 cost on the turn that it is played. So I start with swinging 6 here, potentially hoping that he was going to give me that blocker just to clear the field, but he ends up taking life, and then I establish Shiryu and KO the Black Maria, which is good for me. The Black Maria was not going to swing at all, but that is how the Reiju was going to try to essentially draw to find pieces that he needed, because he's not really drawing into anything that he needs here, which is good for me. And you do see here, I am considering on what to pitch, and I end up pitching a 10 drop. At this point, I don't need it in my hand. It's a brick currently. And if we get to late game, I still have probably 2 to 3 more turns to find one. Oh, and it looks like I already have one as well. I am holding on to that Liberation, however, in case he does go wide, to give myself an option. You do see I have Laboon. All I need is a Dot Q as well. Potentially go wide myself. I'd rather establish bodies over playing Liberation. I just feel like Liberation just takes up an entire turn. Honestly, don't think it's that great now that, Doflamingo isn't as prevalent as it was before with the Jinbei. But you do see he does establish the Porsche and the Sanji Searcher. Again, we're essentially taking this away from Reiju not being able to search, being able to search the top 5, I believe, with the Sanji, and then Don minus with the Porsche for another draw. So taking that away, and you do see I pitched the Laboon since I did grab the Augur, which is a little risky. But I do see a Dot Q in that search. So I'm contemplating whether I want to do Liberation or not. So I am going to grab the Dot Q just in case, because I am going to be able to do Dot Q to Van Augur. And I chose to keep the Augur over the Laboon specifically for that Don or KO effect. So I start off by swinging 5 to see if I can bait out the blocker here. And he's going to give me a counter, and I swing 5 again. And in here, he gives me the blocker this time, which is okay with me, because now I can do the Van Augur and Dot Q on the Porsche for the knock, leaving him with just the Sanji, which is still going to be able to swing over the Dot Q, which is unfortunate, but it's at least going to take a swing away from my leader. and allow me to find a different card with the KO. But we essentially took the pressure off establishing 2 bodies compared to just doing Liberation that turn. So I do pitch my other Liberation. Again, very rarely do I use this card. If I do it, I'm very behind and essentially more than likely lost the game by that point. But he does swing into the dot Q. I do get my draw, and you do see I'm counting my Dawn over there. 2 more turns away from a 10 drop. So I want to basically at this point try to find and set up a Burgess if possible. And here he is just going for board clearing. And I do see a Kuzan, which is perfect because Kuzan can potentially find me a Burgess from the trash, but I unfortunately do not have one right now. So I am going to start the turn. I believe I'm just going to establish a Kuzan. I'm going to pitch 1 Kuzan and try to find a Burgess, and more than likely establish another one as well, if possible. So you do see I swing the Shiryu over the Sanji. Do not want to leave it on the field because if the Reiju becomes desperate enough, they will start attaching down and just swinging with the little bodies. And you see I established the Kuzan and pitched the other one to try to find something else, and I find the Burgess that I was looking for. Even if I didn't find the Burgess here, I would have found anything else because at this point Kuzan is just a brick that will just sit there since next turn I will be at 10 drop, and ideally that is the play, to play that 10 drop. And you do see here I'm contemplating whether or not to swing or establish the Burgess and then swing, because I have seen some Reiju lists running Gravity Blade. So if he ends up establishing and using or triggering the Gravity Blade out of life after I establish Burgess, it gets bottom decked and essentially 4 down wasted. So I decide to swing 5k at life first. And you do see he's contemplating on whether or not to counter out or take it. And he ends up giving me a 2k, which is perfectly fine for me. And Burgess becomes established. And then I pitch the Laboon. Laboon at this point, I don't need it. Don't have another dot Q. Don't have Finger Pistol in the hand. That's essentially what I have Laboon for, is to get these big bodies in range for essentially an event card or the dot Q. But all I need is that 2k and 10 drop, and I should be okay. And a good thing about Shiryu as well is that it does get an extra 2k attack stat on my opponent's turn. And you're going to see here, my opponent is going to attach 2 Dawn onto the Porsche and try to go for the Shiryu, thinking that it's a 5k. So he forgets about the 2k ability. And I'm going to just counter out with the stronger that I have in hand, which essentially skews the turn of how he's trying to do it. He wants to remove the body from the field, but also establish some on his own. So he can't really swing into the Shiryu without wasting the Dawn to try to get rid of it. But yeah, he is thinking here for a little bit. I am also going to see the best trigger possible as well. So here he finally declares that 7k swing to Shiryu, and you're going to see me pitch that 2k to protect it because I want to keep putting pressure. If not, it's going to take another swing there instead of my leader, which is what I want. At this point, it's essentially pseudo blocker. One that you want to ignore. Very rarely are they going to swing into the Shiryu because it's just they're going to have to attach Dawn to really swing into it, so not really worth it. And now he swings 5, and I end up triggering a Finger Pistol, which is perfect. Brings my Burgess up to 9k with 2 extra cards in the trash, and removes another body from the field on my opponent's side. And he establishes a double Porsche. Ended up finding out that all he had was Porsche. He didn't have any of the little Rangers, which is very unfortunate for him. And you do see there, I find my other Burgess that I did not have, which is perfect for me because at this point, I'm going to just pitch the Burgess for my leader ability after I establish 10 drop. So 10 drop gets established, choose one of the Porsches, now I start swinging in. Swing for 5. Count my cards in trash, pitch that Burgess to bring mine up to 10k that's on the field. And at this point, we are just poking. So 5 with the Kuzan. And you do see he is countering out and pitching where he can. 10k swing goes through. He's down to 0 life. And then at this point, I do another Kuzan to establish the Burgess that is in the trash. But this game is pretty much solidified by this point. All he has is the Porsche swing and leader swing. The other one is currently stunned by 10 drop. And even if he does find the 4 drop Ichiji, he would still not be able to play it out because there are no on plays. And you do see he shows the trash. All he saw was a Reiju, little Reiju this whole game, which is very unfortunate. Sucks that he was unable to find the stage and use his leader ability. But essentially here he's gonna swing with the Porsche on the field to life, and I'm gonna end up triggering out a finger pistol that's just gonna KO that other Porsche and fill my trash up with another 3 cards, which is beautiful, exactly what I wanted. I believe he's gonna swing with his leader and then establish a chopper, which I'm gonna just end up cycling with stage and finding black hole, knocking it out and just attaching it all on my 10 drop and getting the win. A little overkill, but as always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.